towel drying. This might surprise a couple of people. So be very cautious here. You should never rub your hair against your towel to remove excess water. Never. To remove excess water, all you really need to do is gently wring out the water from your hair in sections. Given that our hair needs water, I decided early on not to take it out. I decided to just leave it in there. So I don't use a towel. Period. For my hair. I don't want my hair catching on or snagging on any of the cotton fibers. I would suggest that letting a towel sit on your head, absorbing the water post-washing is probably counterproductive because we now know that our hair needs the water. Besides, I have found that adding a quality leave-in at the end of my process really does draw up all the water, so I don't have that dripping problem. And this way, the moisture and the water is in my hair as opposed to being in my towel. I've only recently learned that the use of heat is like playing Russian roulette, because you never know if this is the time that your hair will be permanently damaged or destroyed. You know, your curl would be destroyed. This actually happened to my daughter. She's 15. I didn't know then what I know now, that heat can actually destroy the curl. Why? Well, remember there's moisture in the shaft of the hair that is absorbed either from the oils and butters that you use or the water that you put into your hair. And so the application of heat can sometimes be overwhelming for the hair shaft, causing the moisture in your hair to boil. And in boiling, just destroy the curl. Now, I know some people will talk about a heat protectant and all that kind of stuff. You know, we use those things on my daughter's hair, and mind you, I didn't straighten it myself. I took her and had it done professionally. So I'm very leery of heat these days because I actually have come to really love my natural curl, and I don't want anything to destroy it. So I have been heat-free since May of 2009. The other thing about heat is that, you know, after you don't use it for a while, and then you go back to it, at least for me, what I realized was the smell of burnt hair was too much. Last time I got my hair done was May, and I came out of the beauty parlor looking quite lovely, you know, always looking lovely, looking fly. But I kept smelling my hair, and I was like, ooh. I didn't like it. So, you know, and usually when you pay as much money as I did to get my hair done that day, I would leave that in for at least a week. Try to rock 2 if I can. Girls, that was out in 3 days because I couldn't take the smell of the burnt hair. And you'll find when you leave it alone for a while, come back to it, you might have that same reaction. And so from that experience, I have just completely stopped using it. As a matter of fact, to be completely honest with you, I just got rid of every single curling iron, flat iron combination, heating cap, hair dryer. I got rid of everything I had. Blow dryer, all gone. So I know some people say that you could use a blow dryer in a cool setting and that's not going to be detrimental because it's, you know, it's not the heat. I just don't want to. So, and my hair apparently is quite happy and has been giving me kisses at night because it just loves the fact that I'm not doing anything that in any way could be harmful to my hair. It is growing like a weed. So I appreciate that very much. One of the decisions that I would encourage you to really think about is minimizing or eliminating the amount of heat that you use in your hair. You will find that your hair appreciates it and responds to it. You will also find that your natural curl pattern, whatever that is for you, whether it's S curl or an O or more zigzag, your hair will it will bring out the natural beauty of your hair by not having that extra manipulation via heat. So that's just my take on heat, and I would encourage as many of you long-term transitioners to stay away from it. Styling is my next topic. Protective styles are key for long-term transitioners. This really is nothing more than styles that protect your ends, that tuck your ends in. For me, I transition in buns so that I could tuck my hair underneath, and I'm going to actually post a picture of what I mean by that. I think there's another video I have where I show you that, but I'm going to include it right in here so you'll see it. Twists didn't work for me in the beginning because of the two different textures. I had this, fat, nice twist up near my root where all the hair was, and then as I came to my relaxed ends, it just got stringy and twingy and twangy and looks really weird. So, thick roots and stringy ends are just not a good look, and I wasn't trying to go anywhere looking like that. So an alternative style for me, which had worked much better than twists and twist outs for me, were braid outs. I handled the ends by rolling them on perm rods, very similar to this, and actually put braids in my hair, and I'll actually post a picture to show you what that looked like as well. I did buns for about 6 months, and then I began to experiment with other styles. I wanted to get past that rough stage before I started getting fancy. It was more important for me in my transition to get my new hair on the right track than it was to have a whole bunch of different styles. And I know that for some people, the ability to be able to change styles is very important. But for me, the health of my hair and the stability of my hair was more important. And so I sucked it up, and I, went through that stage. And now that I'm, almost at 24 months of transitioning, I'm really glad I did that. And so for long-term transitioners, I would recommend as best you can, to be okay with the plain, because the greater achievement, the greater good is going to be what's happening in the long term. Okay? Whatever you decide, allow your relaxed hair to match your natural hair, rather than the other way around. The reason I relied heavily on buns is because they were also excellent for stretching. I often put my hair in a bun after shampooing, just like I did actually with this. Put my hair in a bun after shampooing, use a non-cotton scrunchie to hold the hair and pull the ends under the scrunchie. And once my hair was completely dry, I would add braids or cornrow and roll the ends on perm rods. This is it. A little misting with water would help the hair set, although I didn't mist my hair this time. But earlier in my transition, I definitely had to, because I needed to make sure that the hair would crimp uniformly. And in the morning, I would carefully take down the rollers, followed by the braids, and have a nice wavy hairstyle. That worked out well for me.